Everybody loves
a sleeper.
They sure do. This is our sleeper video slash little undervalued. So you're going to know all of these names, but what we like to do is based on where they're going in drafts, we kind of like them a little bit more. And a lot of these guys are going to find their way onto Dustin's and my team probably because of that.
So check out our cheat sheet. We will be updating it throughout the preseason. All our rankings are up on the site as well. Click on the link in the description. It is free. Check it out. And again, we know you've heard of these players. We think they're a little undervalued.
All right, so the first guy you definitely know, Mr. Kerryon Johnson. In the 2018 draft, he was the 43rd pick for the Detroit Lions. And last year he did pretty good. Didn't do great, but he did pretty good. He started 7 games, played in 10, 850 yards, 4 touchdowns. And he looked very good doing it, but there was a lot with Theo Riddick. They love to check down, get Riddick in the passing game. Well, guess what? Riddick gone. And it looks like he's going to get a lot of that third down work. So Kerryon should be catching a lot of balls, which I really do like. The one is CJ Anderson is there. So does CJ get the goal lines? Potentially, but Kerryon at going at ADP 35 right now, he could be a very, very solid running back this year.
Robby Anderson is next. And when you're looking at receivers, you got to just, and you're getting in the later rounds, he's currently going around the 80th pick, around the 30th wide receiver. Where's your upside? Where's the guy that could break out? And I do think Robby Anderson has breakout potential. He is not a one-trick pony. I think he has potential of being an all-around good fantasy receiver. Some things I like. He's entering his 4th season. That's a lot of times a year where a wide receiver can break out. They added Le'Veon Bell. They can actually have a running game this year. Take some pressure off of Darnold. Darnold's entering his 2nd year. He was a rookie last year. Takes a while to get that chemistry going. And Robby finished the season on fire. He had touchdowns in 3 of his last 4 games. It really looked like him and Darnold were starting to connect. For me, I love him. I think he has, wide receiver 2 upside. I'm not saying wide receiver 1, but for where you're getting in the draft, I think he's a steal.
So this is the sleeper list, right?
Yeah.
Because I got a guy on here. I got Corey Davis. Corey Davis has been our bust list ever since he came in the NFL.
What?
Every year Corey Davis in, we said bust. Every year people hated on it. He was the 5th pick in the 2017 draft. Everyone thought he was going to be amazing. We said we don't love rookies. We don't love his ADP a few years ago. But this year, he's down around pick 100. Now we like him.
Seems reasonable.
Seems reasonable. When they zig, we zag at Smack Talk. We actually like him. Last year he had 112 targets. Only caught 65 of them for about 900 yards and 4 touches. There's no reason to think he won't get 115, 120, 130 targets this year. So we do like that. While Dustin likes 4th-year wide receivers apparently, I like the cliche of the 3rd-year wide receiver, and that's where Mr. Corey Davis is. So again, it's one of these things where around pick 100, you're looking for upside. Corey Davis is the type of guy that so many people thought so highly of him that so many people got burned the last 2 years where we didn't touch him. Now we're willing to touch him. He's going at the right spot.
There you go. Rashaad Penny is a guy I loved coming into last year, and he did disappoint. He had some nagging injuries. Couldn't beat out Chris Carson, obviously. His current ADP is around 80 with Carson getting a little bit healthier now. They're saying his knee's not going to be an issue. His ADP could go down. We'll see. But he's currently being drafted as the 33rd running back off the board, which seems reasonable, but I would be fine with even taking him a little bit higher than that. For me, we've talked about this before in other videos. It's the eye test. He just really passes the eye test for me. Seattle is going to be very run heavy. And Penny just didn't really have a chance to get into a rhythm. He has home run potential. His college highlight reel is one of the most impressive things you'll ever see. He needs touches to get things going, but he did average almost 5 yards per carry. So it's not like he's averaging 2, 2, 2, 2, and then he breaks one for 100. Like, he does have potential of being, kind of your prototypical bang it down the middle guy, but he does have home run potential. I want to see him get some touches.
I know you love Penny. You love Penny. A guy I've always loved is Mr. Jarvis Landry. And a lot of people say he disappointed last year, but he had 81 catches, he had 976 yards, and 4 touchdowns again. He gets to 1,000 yards, and it's a totally different perception. And the fact of the matter is with Odell Beckham there, we believe that helps him so much more than it hurts him, because so much of the pressure is going to be focused on Odell that he should be getting opened up. In his first 4 years with Miami Dolphins, he averaged 100 catches per year. I think is extremely reasonable to think if you're in a point per reception league, you could get 100 catches out of Jarvis Landry this year. He's going around pick 69. PPR, that's a value in my opinion. I would take him a little bit higher than that. Standard leagues, again, he's on this list for a reason. I like Jarvis Landry this year.
A guy we had on this list last year got hated on it. We're putting him right back on it. Dak Prescott. He ended up having a solid season. He's currently being taken as the 17th quarterback off the board, ADP around 133. And I was, doing some research, looking at some other websites, and one thing just made me laugh. Their note on Dak said he's been a top 12 quarterback every year he's been in the league. Even though it hasn't always been the prettiest thing in the world, with Cooper there, he shouldn't have any problem being a top 12 quarterback again this year. And they had him ranked as their 15th quarterback. It just makes me laugh, the lack of respect he gets. He was a top 5 QB after Cooper went over there last year. He's had 6 rushing touchdowns in every season he's been in the league. He's a good fantasy quarterback. Don't disrespect him.
He'll run into the end zone, and talk about eye test. Him and Cooper. Woo!
That was nice.
All right, Sony Michel, the New England Patriots. I get it, right? It's the Patriots. James White catches a lot of balls. He doesn't really catch any, and so people are always a little bit nervous where to draft him. But
they drafted Harris out there.
Let's take out the regular season real quick. You know what he averaged in the playoffs per game? $112 and 2 touchdowns. So obviously when they need to feed him the rock, he does extremely well. Obviously he ended the year real strong. And still during the regular season, 931 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns. So again, fairly solid numbers. The knock on him is James White is so good that he doesn't really get the opportunity to catch the ball. But going around 48, again, check your league settings, but 48, that seems like a good value for a guy that if they decide that they're going to let old man Brady hand it off a little bit more, it could look pretty good.
The touchdown potential is through the roof.
15 is that's not insane.
No. Touchdown potential is insane. Potential with Aaron Jones as well. Love this guy. Currently going around pick 30, 16th running back off the board. And this is a guy in my mind that has top 5 running back potential. It took some time for Green Bay to go towards him last year, but once they finally did, he is clearly a better running back than Williams. So stop giving that guy the ball. And the new offense, they want to get the running backs involved in the passing game. He can do that. He had 26 catches last year, most of those towards the end of the year when they were using him more. Averaged 5.5 yards per carry. On that offense, he could have an amazing year, and his conditioning apparently has been a lot better. They challenged him. The arrow is pointing straight up for Aaron Jones. I do not know why people aren't more excited about him.
Evan Engram. Flat out, there's nobody else that can catch the ball out there, so you're good. Now, he's on the list, but yes, it's been rough for Giants fans thus far. Beckham gone. Tate's gone the first 4 weeks. Coleman's gone all year. And then, a couple days ago, Mr. Sterling Shepard fractured his thumb. Yikes. So it looks like it's going to be handed to Barkley or have Eli throw a check down to Evan Engram. He should be a target monster, at least early on. But regardless of all that, we don't like it just because everybody's banged up around him, because in theory, they're going to be stacking the box like crazy now against Barkley. Tight end is such a weird position this year. You kind of have your top 3, and then it's just a bunch of guys. But out of those bunch of guys, we really like Evan Engram, and he's going around pick 60, 65. That's not the worst spot if you don't want to be kind of playing the roulette game with everybody else later.
Phillip Lindsay's the last guy I got. This is a guy that got hurt towards the end of last year, somewhat of a serious wrist injury, but he's healthy. He's already ready to go. And it was a wrist. It wasn't any type of knee or anything like that. But he's currently being taken as the 21st running back, 43 ADP. This is a guy that had 1,300 total yards last year.
He was pretty good.
10 total touchdowns.
Pretty good.
And, I get that Freeman was drafted before him in the draft. But, at this point, that's got to be in the past. It's who's going to be out on the field. And he already outperformed Freeman last year. So is it really going to change that much? They will both get touches. But Lindsay is still the more exciting pick. And I don't see why people aren't more excited about it.
So that's it. Make sure you check all of our other videos out. Hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up, leave any comments. We'll try to respond to some of those as well. For the president and CEO, Dustin Barkley, I am Brent Namco. Good luck in your fantasy drafts this year.
The salute.